Answer on this one should be B. Answer on this one is C. Answer is A. Answer should be B. Pick a number from 1 to 20. Winning numbers today are 2, 5, 9, 12, and 18. Homework check. Bring it up here and show me what you have. Objective today is to simplify radical expressions. Example number 1. In this problem, it's very similar to what we did yesterday. Find the perfect square that comes out of 32. And in this case, it will be 16. The highest perfect square that comes out of 32 is 16. 16 times 2 is 32. That's why we put a 2 here. The square root of 16 is 4. Need to scratch that out. Square root of 16 is 4. And then simplify your two 4's here to get 16 square root of 2. Example 2. 5 square root of 80. The highest perfect square that comes out of 80 is 16. 16 times 5 is 80. Keep the 5 and find the square root of 16 to be 4. 5 times 4 is 20. 20 square root of 5 is the answer. This should not be a mystery after this point. If you get 80 at any point in the future, you should know that's going to break up as 16 and 5. It does not change from problem to problem. Once you break this up as this, it will always be broken up as this. The highest perfect square that will go into 96 is 16. It goes in 6 times. The square root of 16 is 4. 6 times 4 is 24, so your final answer is 24 square root of 6. The highest perfect square that will come out of 120 is 4. And you multiply that by 30. Square root of 4 is 2. Final answer is 12 square root of 30. Example 3. In this case, there is a square root on the bottom of the fraction, which you cannot have. You must simplify this by doing the following. Whatever the square root is on the bottom of the fraction, multiply the top and the bottom by that item. On the top, you will have 2 square root of 48, which comes from 16 times 3. On the bottom, any square root times itself is the number under the sign, so it's simply 3. The square root of 3 times the square root of 3 is 3. Do not put a square root sign over it. Then you have to see if you can simplify the square root term in the numerator. It's 48, and it can be simplified. The highest perfect square that goes into 48 is 16. 16 times 3 is 48. Then simplify some more. The square root of 16 is 4. 2 times 4 is 8. There is nothing more we can do to this to simplify it. Your final answer is 8 square root of 3 over 3. On your homework, you should have this, 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 and this, if necessary. Example number 4. The square root term on the bottom is square root of 2, so multiply the top and the bottom by that term. And come up with 3 square root of 20 on the top and just 2 on the bottom. The square root of 20 can be simplified into square root of 4, square root of 5. Of course, the square root of 4 is 2. What can be canceled out at this point? 2's can be canceled out before you even multiply. Your final answer would be 3 square root of 5. For the practice problem here, you need to multiply the top and the bottom by the square root of 6 to come up with 5 square root of 72 over 6. The square root of 72 breaks up as the square root of 36 square root of 2. Of course, that will be 5 times 6. The 6's are gone. 5 square root of 2 is the final answer. On this problem, multiply the top and the bottom by square root of 6 to come up with 3 square root of 12 over 6. The square root of 12 can be simplified into square root of 4 square root of 3. That would be 3 times 2 square root of 3 over 6. And 3 times 2 is 6. The 6's cancel out. Square root of 3 is the answer.